Hi, my name's Neha. I'm the founder of Veda Beauty Co. And I thought I'd just hop on here today and oil my hair. The reason I'm doing this today is because I know that a few people seem a little bit intimidated by the whole process, and I think that just comes from being confused about what the oil is, why you do it, and how you do it. So I thought I'd just do it today, show you how I do it at least, and have a little chat about all of those things. So let's get started. This is my oil, so it's called Scalp and Hair Nutrition. It's something that I hand make myself, and I source all the ingredients and bottle everything up, do all that jazz. It's filled with lots of good stuff, and I will get to all of that later. But I'm just gonna start oiling my hair because I really need to. So this is actually what the oil looks like when it's been just sitting around, and it is actually a little bit chilly here in Brisbane at the moment, so it has actually solidified and then obviously separated a little bit. Now all this stuff down here, majority of it is actually powder from Brahmi leaf, which is an ingredient that's been used in Ayurvedic hair treatments for a really long time. But basically, obviously we want to reliquefy all of this and then distribute everything so that it's a nice even homogeneous mixture, so that's what's going on our hair. So in order to reliquefy this, it's a couple of options. Personally, what I like to do, because I find it easiest, is just use the microwave. So everybody's microwave is obviously different strengths, but I'd recommend just doing it in 10-second intervals. Keep taking it out, keep checking, be careful because the glass might be hot. But just take it out in between, give it a little shake, see how it's going, pop it in for as long as you need to. Otherwise, you can actually, provided the lid is really nice and tightly closed, you can just run it under hot water for a while, or you can sit it in a dish of hot water and just wait for that to just kind of warm up again. But yeah, like I said, make sure the lid's really nice and tightly closed because you don't want any water getting inside the oil. I myself am going to microwave this now, so I'll be back in a tick. Alrighty, cool. So this was 10 seconds in the microwave. Not bad, and I just gave a little shake. If you actually wanted to microwave it and do it hotter, you can. Hot oil treatments are a thing. It actually means that all of this good stuff is going to kind of penetrate the root of your hair a lot better, and it's going to increase blood flow, stimulate blood flow to the area. So totally cool if you want to get it nice and hot, but let's just do this. So here we go. So my hair, just to let you know where I'm at right now, if anyone who knows me, you'll probably realize my hair is looking a lot shorter than the last time you've seen me. So I actually did just get my hair cut and colored by the incredible team over at Purely Curls here in Brisbane. I think they're in Townsville as well. But if you have curly hair and you want to see somebody who knows how to treat it and what they're doing, would definitely recommend. But basically, this is my hair on day 4. So I have just been bumming around the house the last couple of days. I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere or see anyone, so I haven't been sleeping with a bonnet or refreshing my curls or anything. So it's not really doing my hairstyle justice at the moment. But you know what? It's kind of nice just not to play by the rules sometimes. But as far as the oil itself goes, generally I like to use the oil treatment probably once or twice a week, depending on whether or not my schedule will allow. Personally, for the last couple of weeks, I've been a little bit naughty and I haven't really done it just because I've been busy and probably a little bit lazy and just life got in the way and whatnot. So I can definitely feel it now though, that's the thing. So I've got this is really gross. I don't know if you can really see it. I've got this weird little patch of dry skin that's just randomly cropped up here, which I'm not really stoked about. Yeah, you can kind of see it, I suppose. Anyway, I haven't really been using the oil consistently for the last couple of weeks, and I can feel it, my scalp is a bit itchier and drier now that I'm on day 4, when if I was using the oil consistently, I wouldn't be having that issue. So I definitely just need to get on top of that, which is why I'm making so much of an effort to do it properly today. So this is the oil, it's all shook up. Yeah, so basically what I would do is just part my hair. You can also use a comb or your fingers, doesn't really matter. It's going to be nice and messy anyway. And just get the dropper and just plonk it directly in there. Now, this whole process is basically going to get quite messy, so definitely just like do it in the bathroom so that you can kind of clean things relatively easily. But yeah, just do this everywhere. Now, I like to concentrate on areas where I know I tend to get more dry scalp, and also areas that I'm trying to like grow a little bit. So I kind of have these like, they're not exactly bald spots, but it's just from where I used to part my hair heaps. It's definitely like thinning there, so I do like to concentrate the oil in there. And it has actually helped. I mean, it's been a slow process, but I do feel like it's helped over time. I might see if I can do like a photo comparison at some point, but yeah. Now, the oil itself, it does feel pretty good to put on. Just, I think especially if you can tell that your scalp is feeling super thirsty, it does feel nice. The smell, I've talked about this a little bit before, you may have seen on the website and stuff, but it is fairly strong, fairly pungent. I personally kind of like it. Some other people have also said that, you know, it doesn't bother them, they don't like it, but I don't know. I think maybe because it kind of smells very Indian in a way. You'll understand once you smell it. So some people might be more familiar with the smell and more comfortable with it. Others may not, but I can guarantee that you will get used to it after time. Not sure how long that may take, but you will get used to it eventually. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm kind of just separating in like 1 centimeter. I have a lot of hair, so I kind of need to take like more thin sections. So that's what's happening here. Put it in, just kind of roughly like work it in there. Now I'm kind of using my fingertips and my fingernails to just like really get it in there. Now, this oil itself, it is the main like base carrier oil is coconut oil. Now, I know a lot of people have reservations about using coconut oil. I used to as well. I think you just need to know how to use it in the right way. So for a lot of people of Indian descent, a lot of people just straight up use plain coconut oil and just kind of lather it everywhere, because that's what we've been doing for ages and ages, and our mum's been doing it for ages and ages, and that's what you're always told to do, is just like put oil in your hair. I used to for a while. I was definitely trying for a moment there, but using plain coconut oil, I don't really like to use it on like the entire lengths of my hair. The reason for that is it's really heavy, like it's super rich, and it can kind of leave your hair feeling greasy just because it's quite difficult. It can be quite difficult to wash out. And that's especially the case if you are doing the CG method or like the curly girl method, where you're trying to avoid using like harsh sulfates or surfactants or anything like that. Ooh, squirted everywhere. So yeah, that can make it just especially difficult to wash out, because you're not meant to be using anything really hectic like that, anything super harsh. So it can also, because oil kind of seals off your hair shaft, it can prevent, if you're not washing it out properly or doing it properly, it can prevent moisture from getting inside your hair, which you don't want either. You don't just want to be coating all your hair with oil and then just like you can't breathe. I don't know, just I don't really like it. So yes, coconut oil is the main oil in Scalp and Hair Nutrition, but it's not the only one. So it's kind of diluted with olive oil, camphor oil, castor oil, tea tree oil, lots of good stuff. And it actually means that the consistency is not quite so dense or rich, and it's definitely not as difficult to wash out. But the other thing as well is I really only like to use this for my scalp. Some other people have used it for, they'll try and put it on their scalp and like draw it out through the rest of their hair, use it on the ends of their hair. Honestly, that's your prerogative. Do what you want, do what works for you. If it works for you, go for it. Like, I'm here for it. But for me, sometimes I will use it on the ends of my hair if they're feeling especially dry, just to kind of like seal everything off and just try and help the hair repair, like especially if I'm getting lots of split ends and stuff. But for the most part, I do like to just kind of keep this for my scalp, especially because I don't like to shampoo the lengths of my hair super often. I do prefer doing kind of like a co-wash sort of deal, just with conditioner. So yeah. Now, as far as using like other stuff that's in the oil, sorry, as you can see here, I'm just really working it through. I'm gonna flip over this. I hope you can hear me still. Now this oil does also have like red onion extract, which is really good for helping with dandruff. So it has a lot of antibacterial and antifungal properties, and so do like fenugreek seeds and curry leaves. This is all the like Indian stuff that's in there. So everything's in there for a reason. Now, doing scalp oil is something that Indian people have really, like I kind of said earlier, done for a very long time. And there are a bunch of different recipes and combinations of stuff that you can use and put in your oil. And I have played around with using lots of different stuff, like used henna powder, and I've added argan oil and all that sort of stuff. But this particular combination, this recipe, this combination of ingredients, it works. Like, this is just what I've liked to use, and I feel like it works pretty well. So this is what I've stuck with. I might come out with variations in the future, we shall see. But for now, just keep it simple, I reckon. So yeah, it's got lots of good stuff in there. There's definitely things you can add as well. That's something I've seen people doing too. If you want to add, maybe if you don't like the smell, you could add like lavender oil or peppermint. Mint is really good for the scalp too. Just the list is endless. You pretty much just do what works for you. Sorry, my hair is everywhere right now. Alrighty. Now, as far as finger massaging goes, definitely you can do that. Otherwise, if you do have a scalp brush, you can do that too. Now, these can be really easy to find online or even like some $2 stores. Now, basically, again, because my hair is really thick, I have to like part it where I want to use the massager in. And again, just focus on areas that you feel need the extra love and attention. So that's what I'm doing here. All right, I'm gonna quickly finish the last couple of bits at the back of my head. I'll be back in a second. Hey all, so I have finished putting all the oil in my hair. I'm just gonna like braid it away so that it's not in my face for the rest of the day. But I did also want to touch on like who should use the oil and who could benefit from it. Now, I have marketed this as more of like a dry scalp product purely because that was the main reason I've been using it. Now, it has actually helped heaps with my hair growth, which I'll get to in a second as well. But for a dry scalp, that's definitely the number one reason I use it. Like, my hair is already relatively thick and like it's never grown super quickly in the past. But I don't know, just having struggled with dry scalp issues for a really long time and finally finding something that works, that was my biggest motivation to keep using the oil. Now, that being said, it's not only for people with a dry scalp. I have actually had friends who tend to struggle more with having a super greasy scalp that have actually benefited from using the oil as well. Now, I think the reason for that is basically, the number one reason is generally like if you're shampooing your hair too frequently, then you're drying out your scalp. And especially if you're using shampoos that have like sulfates and parabens and all of those harsh chemicals as well. If you're shampooing your hair like once every 2 or 3 days, it's just gonna get too dry and your scalp will start to flake, or it will start to overproduce sebum to compensate for the dry environment. So, gotta stuff that up. So if that is the case, like the oil will help you. It's basically just gonna like detox your scalp and then just fill it in with all of the good nutrients and stuff that it needs. And it's even just good practice because it's increasing the blood flow to the area. You're just stimulating your scalp. So it will still work even if you've got like super greasy hair. If your hair gets greasy really quickly, don't feel like this is going to make your hair especially oily or your scalp especially oily. That's definitely not the case. Now what I'm going to do here is, like I said, I'm just braiding it now. I will leave it in. I just have to like watch lectures and stuff today, hopefully. So I'm just going to leave it in, chill at home for the rest of the day. If you were doing this overnight, I find the braiding helps as well, because then you can just wrap up in a towel. I might show you that as well. Actually, I've got one handy. And then when it comes to washing it out, use like a cleansing shampoo. Now, I did mention co-washing before. I would still recommend using a shampoo after having done this oil treatment. I just don't think, like, you can get cleansing conditioners and stuff like that, but I just don't think it's going to be strong enough to actually wash this out. A gentle shampoo will do it. It doesn't need to be like a crazy detoxing shampoo or anything like that. I guess it also just depends on how much oil you have put in and how much kind of elbow grease you're willing to use, or just, yeah, to actually wash it all out. So maybe, you know, if you are doing co-washing like me, do the oil treatment once a week. Like if you're washing your hair twice a week, which is generally what I do, you can do a co-wash for one wash, and then for the next wash, do the oil treatment, and then you can use a gentle shampoo, like a cleansing shampoo, something that's non-drying. If you're doing CG method, there's definitely some that work to still get the oil out, so don't worry about that too much. I think we're pretty much done here. Yeah, oh, I'll just get the towel. Oh, I can lay those edges. Anyway, this is a towel I like to use. I might come out with some signature ones at some point. Let me know, I guess, if you think that'd be helpful, or even scalp brushes. I can include that on the website. But basically just tuck it down there, twist, twist, twist. And then just like tuck it into this thing. Good to go. And that way I can like lie on the couch or go to sleep, do whatever I want, and not have to worry about getting oil everywhere, because no one wants to deal with that. So yeah, that's me, all done. In reality, if I wasn't talking, this probably would have only taken like 10 minutes or something, so it's not that bad. Anyway, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.